So we should have it. All right. So let's see. I'll start with the trail list, which has made life a lot easier. I gotta say, especially being able to drive off it. Um, so the first thing I want to show, and I hope you can see this, is when I drag in the screen size, you should see that we're no longer getting this right-hand bar kind of looking weird. Actually, it's more okay. In the past, when I would have dragged out after dragging in, the bar would have had like a space, but now it's behaving correctly. Now, if also, I hope you can see this where it says listing mills. I'm going to drag it in. That's actually going to decrease the listing because what it's doing, you can see the mills changed. Let me come in a little more so I get. Okay, so you can see that all the. I got to fix this when it gets too small, but you can see now that it's changing what's on the map. So I got wired in so it does calls to the server too when that happens. So that was the first thing I wanted to show. Um, so now we have a properly functioning map where I don't have to worry about uh, what you call it, resizing the screen, screwing stuff up. And when we go through that final sweep on look and feel, I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I'll do some more CSS to handle the sizing, but I'm not going to get to the end just in case we add some more stuff there. So that was the first thing. So I'm going to move that over. Okay, search results, open and close drives off the sales date. So again, if hopefully you can see the listing number. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add some closed listings to it. And I think you can see now it from 17 to 7. So now, and also it added the cluster. So you can even get rid of listings if you so choose. But there you go. All right. Yeah. So there you go. Okay. Um, Here's another awesome one. So I got the Z index fixed, which I wish I could have done this such earlier, much earlier time because it was making me crazy. But now, as you can see, I gotta take the throttling off. Sorry, that's why it's going so slow. By the way, I got the throttling on. Let me unthrottle it. Um, I gotta use that later on. So now, I don't know if you can notice, but underneath the map options, you should be able to see that the icon is no longer super like on top of the options. It's now below it like it's supposed to be. And that's also present when you click now a when you click one of these anything and it's below it. Let me grab another one here. You can see it's no longer bleeding through. So that was another one that I was really, really happy to actually finally get done because you start doing all the little things now that are making you crazy. All right, cool. I So I updated the library for the software, and there wasn't anything in there, but I basically the I'm using Uber's Mapbox React library, and I looked at the underlying changes to what that Mapbox React library actually drives off Mapbox, and Mapbox added the ability to assign a class name to a cluster. Now, it wasn't put in the documentation on the library from Uber, but I was about to literally try and swap out to the library. I'm like, let me just try a couple different things. I just tried it blindly, and it worked. And I was like, wow, that's great. So yeah, so it's not like official, but it's working well. I actually reached out, and it should be. I'm hoping to find out, make sure that they know about it, and they're not gonna take it away. But I don't think they would take it away. You know what I mean? So that was that, and yeah, yeah, and it really wasn't even as much the z-index as it is the ability to inside of the map object assign class names to um, assets, which is nice because there's more stuff we can do now that we can do that. All right, so that was that. So you guys saw that Dev is updated, and you guys can log in and there's stuff on there. That was another thing I worked on this week. Um, let's see, and you can now modify photos on your uploaded stuff on Dev. It was working here. It was working on Dev. I had to basically increase the amount of file transfer that Nginx allowed. It defaults to like I think 2 megs, and I had to bump it up to like 50 to accommodate for large photos, and that's working now. Yeah, that was basically that's why I was asking about it, and yeah. Okay, another quick one. Now instead of having to click just the I, you can click the whole header. That was an easy one. If I wanted to get that done, and on this call. And then here's the last one, and for this I'm going to throttle my connection down to a slow 3G, and hopefully it'll show off correctly. So if you look at, hopefully it'll show up. So it's saying now gathering. It's too fast. Shit. Let me try and slow it down even more. Uh, I wanted to do this properly, even though a lot of times people don't do this stuff anymore because the monitor connections are so fast. But for stuff like this, I think it's important. So because I lightened up all the data transfer objects to make the map as snappy as possible, which hopefully I hope you notice when you go on and test it out later on. It's so quick. Um, I had to then on a per listing. Well, let's go by listings because those are the easiest. On a per listing basis, the map is going to be moving around because the connection is so slow now. On a per listing basis, I had to basically make single calls out to the server and saying, "Hey, give me this listing. I want to show off the detail." And because that's happening, I wanted to do it in a way where it basically will give you a message saying, "Hey," when it's waiting. All right, let me refresh this because I want you to refresh this real quick because when you go to a slow connection, sometimes it screws everything up. Let me pull the throttle away, load in. The page is Yeah, the page is still loading. I'm just gonna load it normal and then slow the connection down. Just so we have to wait for all those to come in. All right. Yeah. And it was funny that you mentioned one of the things I actually was playing around with is I have the ability to capture the connection speed, and I might use that to limit the amount of data that comes through on the map or do something with it just for that one reason. But now I'm going to open up one of these listings, and you should see it says gathering the requested information. It's blinking, letting you know that something's happening. It's coming down now, and so you have the basic data, but now I'm pulling the image across separately, and this is actually a rather large image, so it's going to spin for a while. But now at least have an image preloader so that they know something's coming across. Oh, why did I move it? It disappeared again. Sorry. Come on. It keeps reloading because I moved the map. Damn it. Let me just use the regular. Yeah, let's see if this works. Okay, okay, there it goes. Finally. Okay, so you saw the image preloader on that one? Yeah, and it does it for yeah, it does it for the avatars as well. So that was the image preload, and then I haven't let's see for the next call. I wanted to do some work on managing your profile. So right now it's just very rudimentary on the profile things. That'll be so you get your avatar image in there because I think that's a big deal to have the avatars in. Just so when you're dealing with someone, you can see their face. I think it makes it more personable. That's the big thing I want to work on. And along with that, I'm going to be working on doing just basic stuff with that image library. I have it in there. It's doing some image processing, but I want to do some things to scale really large images down so we don't have this wait because there's no need for right now. I just got the full image coming through, And one of the things I am going to do is I'm going to when you upload an image, I commented this out because we weren't using it, but I'm going to bring it back now that I saw this running on a slow 3G connection. When the image comes in, we're going to basically rig two images. So the image that comes in, as you know, it comes in as a data URL to the server. The server is then going to make a full-size file image out of it after it does some modifications to the sizing, and then it's also up I wanted to do on the site. Cool, cool. And I will, as soon as this call is over, I'll start uploading this image. I'll shoot it up to YouTube, and then I'll share it to the guys so they can see the stuff. Because I hope I mean the stuff I did this week I really liked because it got rid of some bugaboos that were making me absolutely freaking nuts. You know what I mean? And now that they're finally done, it's just one of those things. So, alrighty, yeah. And I'm sure there's probably some floating bugs around there. I've been running my tests, but I know stuff is probably gonna creep in there. We gotta catch and just refix. But yeah, I was able to go in, logged in as Big Daddy, did some modifications on the listings. You'll see one there's in like AA tests, and the main modifications I was just doing was reordering images and just kind of throwing new ones in and getting rid of them. Um, and if you find anything that's really making you nuts, if you find anything, shoot over to Slack. I'll throw that on. I'll try and fix it by the next call. Alrighty, how you doing? Real quick, I'll take too much of your time. But how you doing? Cool, 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 cool. That's awesome, awesome. Very cool, man. All right. I hope you have a nice evening. All right. Bye bye. Do that. Let me stop this.